Namaskaram and a very good evening. Please confirm if I'm audible to you all. Thank you for the confirmation. Now I'll be sharing the screen. Please confirm the screen is visible to you as well. Namaskaram. Guys, is the screen visible to you all? Thank you for the confirmation. So welcome to AHA, Ask Him Anything. It is a live Q&A session where we'll specifically try to address your concerns. The format of this works in this pattern. We would initially give you a tracker. Whenever you have any query, throughout the mentorship, you can ask unlimited queries. During these AHA live sessions, first we'll pick up some of the questions in each aspect which are representing the queries of the majority of the cohort at that junction, because these queries will keep changing from time to time. So we pick up certain common queries, and apart from that, we will try to address any additional queries which you might have during the session. So that is exactly the format of how AHA works. Now let me show you the tracker. So this is a tracker which has been given to you. Very simple and straightforward, which will hardly take 1 minute to fill it, because we understand that students get a lot of queries. So that's the reason why you just have to mention your name, your query pertaining to, so that it will be clear about what you want to resolve. And you can mention your query in detail. And you don't have to worry about asking personal queries. When you have shared certain personal things, we will respond in person only. That won't be displayed, that won't be shared anywhere else. You don't have to worry about that. Even while sharing the queries, we'll make sure the names of the students are not reflected. So you can feel free to write anything. This is the platform where you can communicate anything to us. So we'll respond appropriately. All general queries will be shared in the general sessions. Okay, this is the format which we have been given, and you can share any number of queries. Yes, practically unlimited queries, because that will help you to keep moving forward so that you're outsourcing your problems to us. And the 5 steps which we have shared here are the 5 steps here, right? So these are the 5 steps why we are discussing in the same format. Like, either the query will be linked to your mindset, or either it's linked to your routine, or syllabus completion, or revision, or exam presentation. These are the only 5 categories of queries. You can think of it. You can think of 6th one, but you won't find it, because these are the only 5 categories. No matter what type of problem you're having, it will fall into one of these buckets. Certain queries will fall into 2-3 buckets only, but at least you'll find one bucket where you can fit this. Okay, this is part of the 5-step framework. And to understand this better, these are the 2 aspects. Like, generally, this mindset and routine are largely individualized. So it depends on your mindset, it depends on your routine. So these are the aspects which are psychological in nature. And the remaining steps, these are linked to the exam you're preparing, whether it's your CA, final, inter, civils, whatever exam you're preparing. So these are linked to the exam mostly, because every exam has a different component, every exam has different needs. So these are the queries which are linked to that. And in terms of how you should look forward, in terms of how you should keep moving forward, is we discussed last time. So planning, once you customize it, in our case, we have given you the color coding sheet, right? So how do you customize your planning? So depending on your current availability of time, depending on what you have already done, you can listen to that video completely. We have discussed this in detail. So once the planning is done, so the focus should be completely shifted to the implementation. So you'll spend most of the time in implementation. I would say 10% planning, improvement happens. Like, you don't have to do anything as long as you keep filling the trackers, as long as you keep following the process, improvement keeps happening. But most of the effort, your entire effort should go into implementation, because improvement part will take care of. Planning part we are already taking care of, because you just have to focus on implementation. So bring your complete energy into the implementation aspect. So while you're implementing, I'm just giving you a framework in terms of how you should focus on implementation. This framework itself will solve 60 to 70% of your queries. I hope all of you have written down 3 queries while coming here. So out of that, 60-70% will be solved in the next 10 minutes because of the framework which you're talking about. Okay. Now I'm talking about implementation. Once you decide a plan, whether to write one group or both groups, in terms of what time you have to study, in terms of your sources, once the planning part is done, the focus is completely on implementation, right? So now let's look into how the implementation aspects work and the objective of this implementation. The objective of this implementation is it is supposed to save your time, energy, and increase your attention. So while you're implementing it, you have to take care of these 3 things, nothing else, only these 3 things. How well you're utilizing your time, how well you're utilizing your energy, how much maximum you're able to pay attention to something. So using these resources, this is the ultimate objective. So as you keep proceeding forward, this is exactly what should happen. By the time you should reach September, you should be getting comfortable. So initially, in each and every aspect, mindset related aspect, this is how you feel. Routine related aspect, this is how you feel. Syllabus related aspect, this is how you feel. Right? So how many of you noticed? You're able to reach this stage 2 in your mindset and routine? How many of you have noticed that you have reached stage 2 or stage 3? So let's call it stage 1. Okay, in terms of mindset, earlier you never felt like studying, never felt like sitting, you never felt like waking up, right? So you can look at the responses. This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? The way you are able to improve from this stage to this stage, right? If you remember that day, it was very difficult. It was very hard to believe, even for you to continue writing CA. You faced all of this, right? So all of this, you did face it. But the point is, at some point of time, you realize that it has come to this. Now you might be facing this stage in syllabus completion. You might be facing this stage in revision. You might be facing this stage in exam presentation, but you'll get here because even mindset and routine took time, right? So similarly, this will also take time and eventually get here. This is exactly what you have to understand. You should not see, you should be matured enough. You should be matured enough to understand that once you go through a particular process, once you go through a particular, pattern, you should understand it from your previous experience. You should not worry like a chicken little every single time. You know that things will take time. You understand that things will take some amount of days before it get normalized. So every time, every step, if you worry like a chicken little, so you're not being matured enough. And please understand, this is not a emotional exam. This is a test of your multitude of skills, which we discussed last time. So it is not just about an emotions. Please come out of your head and understand things clearly. There are certain aspects which will take time. When you're writing your exam for the very first time, of course, it is going to be difficult. Who said it is meant to be easy? When you're not completed the syllabus, when you are yet to, do the revision entirely, when you are asking you to write the exam, there is a reason behind it. You're not expected to score 100 out of 100 or not even 50 out of 100. You're expected to only attempt the paper and understand it. When the expectation is not there, why are you adding artificial pressure? So this is one diagram. This is one particular diagram or one particular theme which should reflect in your mind anything you do in life. Anything and everything you do in life, this is how it is. Even the first few days of marriage, the first few days of job, the first few days starting your business, anything and everything goes like this. So for you to get here, it will take time, including riding a bicycle, right? The hardest part was to balance this. So this is the single most important thing which will keep you peaceful. Otherwise, if you're having unrealistic expectations that you are here and then you watch a motivational video and you want to get here, that nonsense won't happen. You have to do it with action. By only listening to something, only by thinking about how it can be done, it won't move. Improvement happens by doing, only by doing. This comfort comes only by doing. Please understand this. If this is clear, let's move into the framework part. If this is clear, please type clear. And this has to be made applicable for everything, without worrying about XYZ. This holds true for everything. This is one of the most fundamental things about life. It is so fundamental that it applies for everything. Done. Good. Now let's look into the framework part. Okay. So you might have a lot of questions like these are the questions which you have taken as a sample representative. So you might be worried about decisions, problems, what are the skills which have to be built, but we have simplified it further and we divided that into 5 components, right? So now I'm explaining what exactly are the 5 components and why you are asked. I'm telling you, even if you're listening to me for the very first time, even if there is a student who is listening to me for the very first time, who never knew me, who never knew Super Student or One Last Attempt or any program of ours, if you pay attention for the next 10 minutes, you'll understand it. I want complete attention, pay complete attention. I'll explain it in such a manner that you don't have to worry about it. Even if you're inside the mentorship, this 10 minutes is good enough for you to compensate for the entire welcome kit or entire videos available in the app. Okay, that is exactly how I'm going to clarify. So please pay attention, right? So I hope all of you are sitting in a distraction-free environment the way we have asked. I hope you have your pen and paper ready. If you're ready, once again, please type ready. So I'll just finish it off in 10 to 12 minutes so that it stays in your mind forever. If you're ready. Okay, let's start with mindset. Please remember the reason why you have joined this mentorship. Please remember the reason why you are seeking external help. It could be from your faculties, it could be from yoga teachers or from meditation, because you know that your mindset is not functioning the way it should. You know that, right? You know that that's for a fact. It's not your opinion, because you would not jump to that conclusion until you would have spent a lot of time in exploring. You have spent a lot of time in improving things yourself. When things are not working, you decide that your mindset is not in the right place. Your mindset has to improve significantly. That is the reason why you have joined this. So once you understand some things are not right, please stop worrying about the same issue every single day. Now, today you notice that you're not able to pay concentration, pay attention. Understood. Now, tomorrow, don't worry about the same thing. You already know it today. You already suffered from it today. You know that you're not having a great mindset. It has to be built. When something has to be built, give it some time. It takes some time to build. So once you are putting in effort, once you start putting in effort, even when you meditate, day 1, day 2, nothing is going to happen. Day 21 is where you can see some results. So once you have solved something by taking a step, stop worrying about it. See, in this case, you're not having the right mindset, or probably you're not having a conducive mindset which is good enough for you to clear the exam. So you're taking this decision. So leave it to us. So leave it to the process where you can start building it step by step. Okay. So the first thing is, please don't suffer with the same problem every single day. So it will improve. That's it. It will improve. Don't be like a chicken little and don't be restless. Have that patience. That is a very, very important attribute which you need to build apart from the other skills which you're talking about. So once you decide that these two things are not in the right place, it will take X amount of time for you. Okay. So when you're talking about this mindset part, this will take some amount of time. And even once you fix this mindset to convert, because mindset is happening at the thought level. Mindset is happening at the thought level. It's a thought process. Routine is happening at the implementation level. You cannot build a routine by thinking. You have to doing. Okay. It's thinking. It's thinking. It's doing. So without thinking, you cannot do directly. So there is a logical correlation. You first fix it reasonably well, and you start doing. Once again, think better. It goes like this in certain cycles. Okay. So thinking and doing both has to go parallelly. But first, your mindset has to be cleansed. Now, how do you clean it? How do you clean it? The first important part. At any given time, remember this, guys. At any given time, if you think you're deviating, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling scared, your thoughts are going out of control, switch to box breathing technique immediately. The 4th step box breathing technique at any given point of time. The moment it is not working, do it. For example, whenever you sneeze, you use a tissue or use a kerchief, right? Every time. If you do it 100 times, you use it, right? So that the infection is not spreading to others. It should be as simpler or as normal as that. So this box breathing technique is not something which you wake up at 5 o'clock and do it only under simulated conditions. It is something which you should do at any point of time. It is the fastest way to get back to the track. Let's say you're driving. I'll tell you how it works. You're driving, you're going straight. There is a deviation. You kind of do the steering, right? You steer back. That's it. Whenever there is deviation, you keep steering throughout the drive. Similarly, this is for steering your mind. Okay. Box breathing technique should be used like a steering wheel. Why? Because thoughts cannot be acted upon. You don't have the ability to directly control thoughts. So control your breath. Control the way you breathe, it will control the way you think. Okay. This is something which is given very clearly. And I'm coming from a framework of spending thousands of hours in doing this yogic practices, ancient yoga wisdom, meditation, or I'm a practitioner. I don't say just because everybody is saying it. Even today, every single day, I spend X amount of time understanding it. I do detailed research. I've done a teacher training in different schools of that, Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and all of that. I understand what I'm talking about. So this is a single point solution. So when somebody comes and asks the same problem, this is the solution. That's it. This is the solution, whatever it is. And if you're getting a problem repeated, which means you're not doing this. It is very clear. I see that a lot of you are not doing it. You're listening and you want some other solution. You're listening, you want some other solution. That is waste of time for you. Please stick to this. Okay. So this is the single most important thing, which will immediately stick or get back your thoughts in line. And most of the qualified chartered accountants have said it. In fact, Ujjwala was saying it left, right, and center. CA Ujjwala was got 250 in her group 2, who wanted 244. She mentioned that. So whenever my thought goes out, I did this, including the examination hall. So that is what she has said. So this is the fastest way to bring back your thought, and don't leave your thoughts like a, I would say untrained cattle. Like you see some animals walking on the road randomly, right? Don't let your brain go randomly. When you see that there is some level of randomness happening, bring it back, put that effort. Otherwise, it will kill days, hours, and weeks. Nothing will happen. You just sit before the exam or you sit before the books, but you're not controlling your thoughts. It requires conscious control. Conscious control. Watching one more YouTube video is not going to help. Motivation is not the problem. You have to bring it within. The change has to come from within. So whenever you think that you are getting deviated, this is the single most effective technique in the entire world. I'm challenging this. I'm challenging this in a recorded session, which is streaming live. I'm challenging this. There is nothing else which is far more faster, effective, and simple. Simpler, faster, effective. That is the level of confidence which I have. And this is exactly what I do whenever I have to do something. Okay. So this is about your mindset part for the shorter deviation. Now coming to focus block slot. So how would you know whether your mindset is sorted or not? This is the objective. I'm not worried about how you are feeling. I feel good, I feel bad. That is not the criteria. Your ability to reasonably sit with concentration for 50 minutes. 50 minutes is impossible to pay full attention or full concentration, because attention happens in seconds, forget about minutes. But what we are looking at is, when let's say right now you're in the session, most of the sessions happen for 50 minutes. We try to complete majority of the component within the first 50 minutes, followed by reasonable extension. So now, as you're sitting here, I know and I respect the fact that all of you are paying attention for the next 50 minutes. Similarly, the same level of attention has to happen whenever you sit to study. The way you're respecting my time, you also have to respect your time. So every single time when you're working on your mindset, the objective is to increase your concentration, enhance your concentration to 50 minutes. For example, if you're not able to study for 25 to 30 minutes, now what exactly the next step? Make sure you're putting in two to three rounds of focus block slot continuously to increase it to 50 minutes. If you're not fixing this 50 minutes, please don't talk about 5 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, because every hour you're losing 30 minutes. Every single hour you study, you're losing 30 minutes. It's like carrying a bucket with a lot of holes. Don't waste time. Fix it. Let it take 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, whatever, any amount of time, fix it. The objective of your mindset, the single point objective of building this mindset is to study for at least 50 minutes or 50 minutes at a stretch. After that, 5 minutes of revision, 5 minutes of break. Okay. 50 minutes is the target. If you're not able to study for 50 minutes, fix it. Don't think of syllabus. Don't think of revision. Don't think of exam. What exam will you write if you cannot even think for 50 minutes? How can you think for 180 minutes straight, that too in a deep and complex manner? You'll face the same problem every single day if you're not fixing it. Okay. If the mindset part, now this is where I want to conclude the mindset part. See, you might talk about overthinking, you might talking about lack of concentration, fear of failure, or anxiety, stress, depression, whatever terminology you want to talk about. This is the 2 steps. Instant fix is box breathing technique, or instant focus. More instant focus is also a diluted version, but box breathing would do. Instant technique is your box breathing technique, and the long-term objective, or what exactly is the objective of mindset at any given point of time when you're sitting, when you're doing any work, you should be able to maintain that ability for 50 minutes. That's it. Like physical strength, you do it right. 10 push-ups, 20 push-ups, 30 squats. There will be something in which will explain your physical stamina. So this is a test of your mental stamina. 50 minutes is a test of your mental stamina. And this is a requirement for an exam like this. Nothing longer, nothing shorter. 25 minutes is useless. 90 minutes is too long. 50 minutes is perfect. tested by all the students who have cleared. Okay, if this part is clear, the mindset, the objective of why you're doing what you're doing, if it is clear, please type clear so that I can move forward. If this is clear, please think and type. If this is clear, this is once for all. I'm not going to get back to this. We're already, just 75, 80 days they're going into that corner. So I want to focus more on the syllabus and this side. So today is the last time where I want to discuss on mindset and routine. If this is clear, please type clear. Fantastic, guys. Fantastic. Good. Now, what exactly is the routine? Now, with your mindset, you can study for 50 minutes. That's very good, right? Okay. At any point of time, you can sit and study for 15 minutes. Now, what exactly is a routine? Routine is a maximization of your ability of the mind. For example, if you only study for 50 minutes, it's good when you want to learn something for the sake of it. But when you want to have clear an exam with a tight deadline, now why do you need a routine? I'll tell you. You would not need a routine when there is no deadline. So when there is a clear-cut deadline, okay. So what do you mean by deadline? Limited number of days. The days are limited. You don't have infinite time. Time is limited. So when time is limited, you have to make sure the time gets utilized. How do you utilize the time properly? You should not think about, there should not be any decisions. No decisions. I'll give you an example. When you want to reach from point A to point B, home to office, you'll follow a particular route, right? The idea is to go from point A to point B in the fastest possible way. You're not taking any decisions, you're going in the shortest route, you're following the maps. End of story. Now, compare this with a trip. When you're going to a trip with your friends or family, the idea is not to reach the destination. It is more about the journey. So you kind of take things slowly. Then you keep taking a lot of decisions. Should I eat idli or sambar? Should I take a picture here? Should I stop it here? Or should I stand on the rooftop and take a selfie? Or I should stream Instagram live? All of these are fine because there is no deadline. So now when you're talking about a particular deadline as an exam, when you look at exam, it has a deadline. When there is a deadline, you need to work with speed. When you have to work with speed, you should not take decisions. The decisions will reduce the speed. For example, what is the advantage of a map? If you look at how a Google map works, it will remove the decision making. You follow the map blindly. So that there are no deviations where you're not starting at every turning and seeing, should I turn left or right? Similarly, when you wake up on a day, you should not think about on the bed, should I wake up or sleep? That is the most useless decision which you are wasting time every single day. At 5 o'clock, you should wake up. The decision is done. Nobody is expecting it to be easy. The idea is not to have a relaxed and comfortable life. Like if you ask me how to lead a relaxed and comfortable life, I'll teach you personally about a crazy life. I'll make you far more lazier than who you are. That is a separate part. Very extreme laziness and lethargy. That is also good. Nothing wrong or right. Okay, if you can experience laziness and lethargy, that is totally fine. But if you want to clear CA, no, that is not the direction. That is a different direction altogether. After exams, let's explore that. Right now, that is not the objective. It feels good for you to sleep for longer hours, but that is not the objective. Your objective, you have decided to write exam and clear in November 23. When that is there, at 5 o'clock, there is only one decision. You just have to shut up, wake up and study. End of story. There is no decision making involved. So, if you look at all of these components, the idea of a routine is to standardize your day without taking too many decisions. The idea of a routine is to standardize your day without taking too many decisions. Now, how do you do that? Your ability to study for 3 hours in a sitting. Your ability to study for 3 hours in a sitting will make all the difference. Your ability to study for 3 hours in a sitting will make all the difference. So you're converting your focus block slot into 3 focus block slots. So as I said, fix a morning routine, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. You're fixing a morning routine. First, you do this full study session for 3 hours. Then you think of the next 3 hours. Then you think of the next 3 hours. So this is exactly how you're building a routine. So when I say routine, it's non-negotiable. It's fixed. That's it. There is nothing which will change. There should be nothing which should change. Not even your parents, not even your health, not even some external situation. No matter what happens, routine is non-negotiable. The 3 hours which you decided to study, that should happen. It is a non-negotiable thing. This is exactly what you have to understand about routine. So if you are not having a non-negotiable study time of 3 hours blocks, like three for full-time students, 3 into 3 is an ideal time. For part-time students, at least 3+2, to begin with, at least 3 hours. If you're not even having 3 hours, don't think of 5 hours. When people say that I'm not able to study the entire time, is your 3 hours sorted? If no, go back like a flowchart. 3 hours is not sorted, go back. If 1 hour is not sorted, go back. This is exactly how you have to build it. So it doesn't matter. See, the deadline does not matter, because if you're not fixing it, you cannot take it forward. If you have a fractured leg, why are you bothered about how fast others are learning? Why are you bothered about how fast others are running? Your leg is fractured, you have to fix it. You cannot even bloody walk. You cannot even sit for 3 hours or 1 hour. Why are you bothering about 10 hours, which is impossible? And it has to be fixed. Please understand, these are things which you have to do. How would you expect? By watch, see, your idea of a solution is completely wrong. By watching something, by listening to something, this is not going to fix. It is something which you have to do. How do you increase your muscle strength? By doing push-ups, not watching how push-ups has to be done, or not watching why push-ups have to be done, or not watching a song when you play while doing push-ups. You just bend your body and do it. Bend it and do it. That is exactly how it has to happen. As far as mindset and routine is considered, you do it. You just have to do it. There is no other way. There is no other way out. If you're not able to do it, please don't think about the further steps. If you're not able to study for 3 hours a day, why are you even thinking of clearing CA in 3 months? Why are you even thinking? Do you think you're even eligible to talk about it? Just because you're overly motivated, you're overly emotional, or you have a set of life problems, ICA is not going to give discount, right? There is no disclaimer or discount in exam paper because of your weakness. There is no physically handicapped or mentally handicapped quota for this exam, right? Probably for certain parts, they'll give one extra hour. That's it. But just because you're not able to put in X amount of time and effort, or just because you're not able to pay concentration, ICA is not going to dilute it. So you have to build it. The question is, how are you going to do it? How fast are you going to do it? Whether you do it or not, it's not a question. If you're not fixing mindset and routine, please don't think about syllabus. My syllabus is not getting completed. No, you cannot complete. How can you complete syllabus when you're not even able to sit and study? So that is something which you have to fix forever. Fix once, it has to be sorted. Slight level of disturbance, okay. 10% disturbance is okay, but 90% disturbance is not okay. If this is also clear, please type clear. If this is also clear, please type clear. So now this section which you're talking about, the syllabus completion part. The syllabus completion part, I think most of the queries which we received this week are linked to this. I understand why it is. I appreciate that. You're right about thinking in that lines. I'll make it very simple, guys. So in syllabus completion, we are using 3 steps. Only 3 particular approaches. 3 approaches. Number 1 is the 5-day boot camp. Number 2 is the 1-week base camp. Number 3 is a 10-day strategy. Okay. We are only completing syllabus with 3 approaches. The reason why is things should be simplified. It should be simplified. There are only 4 directions, right? Left, right, or north and east. There are 4 directions. Now, if you create infinite directions, northeast, northwest, southwest, it becomes very confusing for you to navigate. Okay. So there are only 4 cardinal directions. We are using it to move from a point to point. Similarly, we have created 3 directions. three strategies, three approaches to complete your syllabus. Always do one of these three. Don't do anything individually. Always do one of these three. If something is left out at an appropriate time, we'll discuss that. But right now, this is exactly how we are going to complete the syllabus. Now, what is the boot camp? Now, boot camp is the fastest. I'm saying it's the fastest, simplest way of understanding the subject with the highest return on time invested, ROTI, you can call it return on time invested, because you're not investing money to complete a boot camp, you're investing time to complete 5 days. So return on time invested, the highest is for boot camp. In 5 days, you will be able to complete the entire. So there are three aspects to syllabus. Now, in syllabus completion, there are three aspects. One is the length, okay? Next is the breadth. Next is the depth, okay? Now, what exactly is the length? So length is the strip. The length is a strip. What is the stretch? What is the total length? What is the total length? Let's say there is a shopping mall. First, I'm asking you to move from this end of the shopping mall to that end. That's it. Don't look. Don't enter any shop. Just move from here to here. Like that is exactly how you buy food, right? When you go to a food court in a shopping mall, first what will you do? Any sane, sensible person will have a look. He'll just go through everything without getting carried away. All they wants to buy something. You complete that round, and then you go into breadth. So this initial length is called the index mapping exercise. You are not expected to go into the shop and buy something. You're not expected to remember or by heart the menu. You need to understand what is there, where is where, what is there, where is where. That is exactly how to understand an index mapping exercise. So we ask you to complete it in just 1 day. Ideally 10 to 12 hours. Working professionals can use it across 2 days or whatever. The reason why we ask working professionals to take up to 7 to 10 days for the boot camp is because you cannot do it intensively, so you can stretch it. But we don't want to build a 10-day boot camp where the whole objective gets diluted. In your mind, it should be a 5-day boot camp, except is 7 to 10 days. That is for only working professionals, right? So the length is the index mapping exercise. Please don't come back and think about, I don't remember. You're not expected to remember. Who can remember everything in a day? You're only looking at the length of the syllabus. Now, this length of the syllabus itself will give you highest amount of clarity. I'm challenging you more than spending 100 days watching recorded lectures. Let's say you're spending 2 hours per day. After 200 hours, the level of clarity in your subject is X. By spending this 10 hours, the level of clarity in terms of the length of the subject, in terms of the expectation of the subject, this 10 hours will give you more clarity than those 200 hours. The 200 hours will give you information. This 10 hours will give you insights. This 10 hours will give you insight. This is the first time in your preparation where you will know what exactly is there, where is where, which particular component. As you're doing the index mapping, you'll suddenly realize, okay, this question is asked in the exam. It is not out of syllabus. My faculty said it is out of syllabus. No, it is there right here. The same question has been asked. Once you keep flipping front and back, you'll understand, okay, this is how fast I can get clarity on the entire syllabus. Why am I wasting time waiting for some invisible notes or buying that magical notes for $299, which will solve my preparation problem? Index is the magical thing. Index is the Bhagavad Gita for your syllabus completion. If all those who have done this index mapping properly, if you agree to what I've just said, please type agreed so that others who are not yet done will be able to do it. All those who have done index mapping, if you agree to what I said, thank you for the responses. Thank you for the responses. Others, it's simple. When someone, like when someone whom you trusted is saying something, when a lot of people are practically using and clearing exams using that technique, and after that, your contemporaries in the same batch are mentioning it time and again of the benefits of it. If you still don't do it, you're planning to fail. The way you're approaching, it could be negligence or arrogance. I don't know, whatever. It could be ignorance, it could be negligence, it could be arrogance. Whatever the reason is, they're planning to fail when something is given so specifically, and something is given so simply with huge emphasis. If you're not doing it, you're just being bloody arrogant, which means that you don't trust anyone, you don't want to do anything, or you're just being negligent. So you're not worried about the outcome of the attempt. If you're not doing this, if something is so simplified, who has the ability to come out on record and say that even after failing 10 attempts, give us 1 attempt, I'll help you clear. Now, when somebody is doing it, respect. When somebody Forget about trusting us. Trust your students, right? Trust your fellow students who are just mentioning their responses. So if you're not an index mapping for any subject, you will suffer that consequences till the exam day. You'll suffer that consequences till the exam day because it is very hard to replicate. If you index is 1%, syllabus is 100%. If you're not doing 1%, 100% is impossible. So what would you remember? 1% or 99%, which is easy. If you're not being lazy to complete 1%, how can you have a complete understanding of 99%? It cannot happen at all. Now this is now I'm explaining 100% of the mentorship in just one slide. This is the 1%. That is the reason why I'm saying if you listen to me for this discussion, you'll understand the core essence of the entire mentorship. That is exactly what I'm talking about, right? So this is what you have to do the bootcamp. Bootcamp law at bootcamp may the only objective is to know the length of a syllabus, nothing else. Simple, single length of a syllabus, end of a story, done. The second part, while you are looking at the day 2 of the bootcamp, we ask you to go through the previous papers. Now let's talk about exam. Now exam can be used for 3 things. We use exams, which includes RTP, MTP, such answers. Okay, RTP, MTP, and such answers. This set up you can call it previous year paper, QIP. So we use exam for 3 purposes. Number 1, for syllabus also. I'll tell you how we are using it. We're using for learning. We're using exams for revision. We're using exams for presentation or testing. Okay. So please don't be blinded that exams are used only for testing. Now, when we talk about past papers, they're not just for testing. They'll help for learning. Like it is a fastest way to learn something in Q&A. What exactly are the last 3 years of exams? We are talking about the most important 0.1% of the syllabus. ICA has already asked it. It is not going to ask the same question, but it will help you to understand the pattern. Out of 1,000 pages, 1 page is getting tested. So you need to know 100% of that 1 page, right? So you need to give 100% attention to this. While you're doing day 2 of boot camp, you're mostly completing the syllabus. You're not testing yourself on day 2. You're not expected to answer everything. You're just looking at the question. You think of the answer at once, and then you look at the solution. That's it. So you're using exam papers for learning here. You're using exam papers for learning, not for something else. You're not using it for testing. On day 5, you're testing it. On day 2, you're using it for learning. If this difference is clear, please type clear. Whenever I'm asking you to, even the 10-day strategy, when I ask you to go through the previous paper from day 1 and day 2, it is used for learning. It is officially you use it to learning. Q&A format. How do you learn? You can learn from reading a BERAC. You can learn from reading a reference book. You can learn from reading a Q&A book. That Q&A book is given by ICA. That's it. Okay. If this part is clear, please type clear. Please don't ask the same question yet once again. Okay, good. This is how you're using the exam in different contexts. Now, when do you use this exam for revision? Now I'll tell you one more hack here. So when do you use exam for revision? All the students who have already built a mindset and routine, sometimes, it's not like you did not build a mindset. It's not like you're not able to follow a routine. You get tired. Sometimes you get tired. Sometimes you get bored. Sometimes you get exhausted. You know that it's a short term. It's only for that day. It's only for that half day. It's not like you don't want to study at all. How many of you experience this once in a while? Feeling tired, feeling bored, feeling stuck. Okay, I just need a break, like that, right? At the same time, you don't want to watch Netflix or something, right? You want something lighter. At that point of time, you use this exam. Okay, I'm giving you a 3-hour challenge. I call it a 3-hour challenge. Guys, it has to be used only for an exceptional basis. Now, what is 3-hour challenge? Whenever you don't feel like studying in a regular pattern, whenever you think that studies are not moving forward, pick up any MTP or RTP or such answers and try to revise it in just 3 hours. When I say revision, it's a mix of both. You're learning and testing. So you look at the question, you try to think of some points, or you can literally write those bullet points in a paper beside it. Short bullet points, not a complete exam. Then look at the answer immediately, not after 3 hours. Immediately write. So if you do this, what will happen is your mind will be engaged. The advantage of reading something in Q&A mode is it's not dragging. When you read something, questions plainly in a textual matter, it's a drag, right? It's like Q&A is like your shorts. You like watching shorts. short. So Q&A is like short, document. One question, one answer, document. One question, one answer, document. Exam is like a lengthy YouTube video, right? So that is the reason why sometimes it is okay to use a 3-hour challenge whenever you feel deviated, whenever you feel distracted. Okay, so this is exactly about how we are using exams. And apart from that, you're testing yourself. Now, while you are testing yourself, now let's come to this. While you are testing yourself, while you're doing the boot camp, you're not expected to score 60 marks in 3 hours. You're expected to score only 24 marks. You're expected to attempt only for 1 hour because you studied only for 5 days. So you sit for 90 minutes, you sit for 120 minutes. Now, why are you bringing some useless questions like, I'm losing confidence? What bullshit it is? Like, what bullshit it is? How can you test yourself without even completing the syllabus? No, it is for you to understand the exam pattern to the extent you are completed. Why are you, guys, these are bothering me a lot because these attributes or these aspects are very dangerous while you go into the exam. You need to understand this very clearly. It is not about hiding yourself from the reality. It is not about maintaining artificial confidence. Confidence has to face the reality. Right? What is confidence? It has to face the reality. Now, when you say that I wrote this exam, you're essentially saying that your problem is not able to write the exam. You're saying that is not the problem. Your problem is knowing the reality. Your problem is knowing that you don't know. You already know that, right? So why are you hiding from reality is something which you have to be very clear about. Don't run away from reality. Do not run away from reality. Exams are reality strike. So either you face reality on a weekly basis. If you're not ready to face reality on a weekly basis, you'll face reality on the attempt basis. So next chance will come after the next attempt. If you're directly testing the reality on the exam, the next chance will come after next attempt. If you test it on a weekly basis, the next chance will come next week. So have this reality strikes more frequently. Day-end revision is also a reality strike. Previous year recall is also a reality strike. All these are reality strikes. Don't run away from reality. Do not run away from reality. Do not run away from reality. If you understand this in the right context, if you understand this, please type in the chat box. Do not run away from reality. Do not run away from reality. All of these are reality strikes. The difference between YouTube motivation and this personalized mentorship is this. We are forcing you to get this reality strikes. Get this. It is real. What is there? What is there? It is what it is. Right? What is there? The more closer you are to reality, your decisions are clear. Like there's nothing wrong about getting 10 marks or 5 marks. Do not run away from reality. On a particular day, if you notice that, you're only able to write 50% of what you studied, that's reality. That's good. What do you do? How do you improve it? How do you take it forward, right? That is exactly how it has to work. Okay, so this I have just explained all of this together. Now let's talk about 1 week base camp. This is 1 week base camp. Now, what is 1 week base camp? On average, we have noticed most of the students are giving 3 attempts, especially who has come to our mentorship. There are people who are given 10, 12 attempts, and some of them are writing second attempt, third attempt, but at least 3 attempts. So 3 attempts, when you talk about 3 attempts, you're talking about almost 3,000 hours or even more for preparation, out of which, if you're looking at it, you're giving 500 hours or 50 days for each subject. On average, when you're writing 2-3 attempts, you're giving 500 hours or 50 days for each subject. How many of you agree to this calculation? When you're failing a couple of attempts or 2 or 3 attempts, if you look at it, at least you're investing 500 hours or 50 days. Like, what is 3 attempts? 180 into 3, 540 days. It's even more. Okay. So when you're investing 500 hours and 50 days, when you're investing 500 hours and 50 days, and you're still getting 35, please don't talk about time. Please don't correlate time with passing. Please stop correlating number of days you study with passing. If that is the case, we should look at if that is the equation. If you need 500 days or 500 hours to get 30, you need 1,000 hours to get 60. If you're looking at time as an equation. So what we are telling you is we're removing the time component of syllabus completion. We are going it in a task-based manner. The focus is on a task. How do you complete this today? How do you complete this tomorrow? So it's just a mental block for you when we say somebody has to complete the syllabus in 1 week. Like Sri Kirloskar spoke about it extensively, even in the live session, even in the recorded testimonial. All of them are talking about 1 week. Every one of them have that a concern about how you can complete things. Now, this 1 week will help you to intensify your preparation. Intensify. Okay, what is intensification? So, if you do not intensify your preparation, you'll procrastinate things. You'll procrastinate things. There is no end point. It's a drag. You'll end up doing PhDs. You'll end up doing PhDs in your preparation. So that will unnecessarily waste your time. So 1 week base camp, we are not targeting 60 in this. If somebody is stuck at 25, there is a good chance that you'll move to 40. If somebody is stuck at 10, you'll move to 25, depending on where you are. So that is the reason why 1 week base camp, we offer customized plans. When you want you to do the 1 week, you're doing it according to the color coding sheet. You're doing it according to the color coding sheet. 5-day boot camp is fixed. 10-day strategy is also fixed. 1 week base camp is where the customization kicks into picture. Depending on what you have studied, depending on what you know. If you already crossed 50 last attempt, take it to 60 in this 1 week. It is for you to work on your gaps at an individual level. Okay, this is the customized aspect. This is highly customized for you in an individual manner. Okay, so this is the nature of 1 week base camp. So don't complain that you are at 10, move to 25. That's it. 10 to 50 is not happening in a week, right? Now, once this is done, 10-day strategy is where you're crossing 45 plus irrespective of where you are. So 10-day strategy is where you're passing. Okay. So if you're writing one group, you'll go through both 1 week base camp and 10-day strategy. If you're writing both groups, the expectation is that you're done one group reasonably well. You've already done one group reasonably well. For the other group, you have this 10-day strategy starting from August 21st to September 30. The weaker group or the other group which you are working upon will have 10 days for each subject, which will help you to get there. Now, if you're not even done one group, the question of both groups won't even happen, right? It won't even arise. Why are you bothered about things which you cannot do? Like if you've already done one group, second group is on the cards. Without even doing two papers, why are you thinking of two groups? So please don't get stuck with the motivational bullshit. Come out of that. Without even completing two papers, why on earth are you thinking about two groups? Complete 4 papers, then think of other group. You still have time. Complete and then think. Don't think and then get stuck for the completion part. Okay. So 5-day boot camp is to give you the length aspect of it. 1 week base camp is like giving you the breadth where you're exploring each and every shop and opening the menu and you're spending some time. 10-day strategy, you're going deep. You decided this is the outlet, you're going there, you're sitting and you're ordering, you're finishing your meal over there, you're calling your friends. That is the 10-day strategy. That is the finalization part. So that is exactly how you almost spend 5 plus 7, 12 plus 10, 22 days for each subject, which is insane. This 28 days will definitely make you pass. For some of you who have joined late, depending on your joining time, you'll have a combination of this. You'll end up spending 10-day strategy plus base camp or boot camp. One of this will happen because we cannot give you time about what you already spent. When the November attempt is there, within the available time, we can give you best combinations, right? So from August 21st, everything is going into a 10-day strategy. You only have 10-day strategy. That's it. By August 20th, you should have done one entire group. Those who are writing only one group, there is no headache. 10-day strategy and then 2 cycles of revision in September. If those are writing both groups, one group should have been done by August 20th, and they are fixing the other group in until September 30. October is revision, one cycle of revision for each group. Okay. So now I hope you understood the nature of 5-day boot camp, 1 week base camp, and 10-day strategy. Please don't break your head that your syllabus is not done in 5-day camp or 1 week base camp. It will happen depending on you. There is no ideal situation in base camp and boot camp because it depends on you. Once you come to 10-day strategy, then we expect you to complete certain thing along with the group because we expect you to bridge the gaps until that point. There are days where we given you 10-day strategy for fixing the weak subject. So that is the benefit of joining early. Like all those who are joined early, now they're able to complete multiple cycles. Even otherwise, from here also, you have the best chance. Okay. If the syllabus completion is clear for you, please type clear. If the syllabus completion, especially the 5-day boot camp and 1 week base camp and 10-day strategy is clear, please type clear. Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Now let's talk about revision. Fundamentally, please understand, revision is not pushing in more information. Revision is all about pulling out. Exam is not a test of what you know. That's not the test. It's not a test of what you know. What you can recall. What you can recall, or how much you can recall, is what exam checks. If it's a test of what you know, everyone will clear, right? Everyone knows the syllabus, everyone knows. It's a test of what you can recall within the time period. Okay. So when you're talking about revision, there are two functions. One is, of course, revision is there. The most important function is called recall. We don't use this term because you get confused. But when you look at PDR, PDR is actually previous day recall. Day and revision, previous day recall. What you're revising today, you're recalling tomorrow. That is the reason why, if you remember, in PDR, we don't give you option to write your notes. You quickly recall it and type it in 10 minutes. That's it. Okay. So revision is working like this. Now, while we are doing it, revision is the area where you'll experience the depth of the subject. The depth generally won't happen in syllabus completion. In syllabus completion, you'll be in a hurry to learn, you'll be in a hurry to understand, but the depth are connecting the dots. The dots get connected only during revision. Okay. So that is the reason why revision becomes important. It's not just about memory. Revision is not just about memory. It's memory, it's only a component of it. Don't overemphasize memory. Revision is not about memory. It also involves deepening your understanding, increasing your conceptual clarity, connecting your dots, and all those things. Okay. So this is exactly how revision is going to work for you. So revision, this 20-hour challenge is the 1.5 day. So for you to revise everything in 1.5 day, we are preparing you across the 100 days. Whether you call about the 5-time revision or the 5 minutes after 15 minutes, everything is all about helping your brain process it. Just like Usain Bolt has to run in 10 seconds, the 100 meters, he practiced for 10 years. For you to do everything in the 20 hours between the exams, you're making you practice in this 100 days, right? So this is about 1.5 day. And this is the transition step in October. In October, you'll revise all the subjects in 50 hours. If you're writing both groups, you'll revise one time. If you're writing one group, you'll do 2 50-hour cycles. Okay, this is about 50-hour revision and 20-hour revision. And weekly cumulative revision is very important. You know, if you're, I mentioned it last time, if you're not able to do the cumulative revision on the day 6, your week is wasted. And daily basis, anyways have 5-time revision. Anyways have 5-time revision using the day and revision, PDR, MDR, all of that. You can continue using it. So I would say, once you fix this mindset, this is the most important thing. So if you fix your mindset, syllabus completion will happen automatically. If you fix your revision, exam presentation will happen automatically. These are the blocks. If you fix your mindset and routine like this component will fix this automatically. You cannot directly act upon syllabus completion without fixing it. Okay, this will trigger this. Once your revision is improved, your exam presentation quality will automatically improve, because you can write. There is some additional thing which I have to do, but these are the base blocks. If you agree to this, please type agreed. If you notice this already, if you agree to this while doing the cumulative revision, please type agreed. This will help others. So focus is on fixing mindset, because it's a derivative. Syllabus completion is a derivative of this. Exam presentation is a derivative of revision. So your constant effort should be focusing on fixing your mindset and routine and doing revision on a daily basis. So because of this, because of the top two wheels, it's like the top two wheels, the front wheels is where you steer a lot, the back wheels will follow. So these are like the back wheels. Okay. This is exactly how we are going to fix the revision part. And exam presentation, as I said, initially, as long as you're doing this is fine. We keep presenting. So initially it is more about the mistakes than marks. It is more about the mistakes than marks. And exam presentation, it's more about exam mistake tracking, EMT. Any exam, 1 hour exam, 2 hour exam, 3 hour exam, you'll have to do it with the exam presentation. You have to do it with the exam mistake tracking. Okay. So your target is for every subject, how can you score 24 plus in 1 hour? phase 1. Let's say you can correlate boot camp to this, or by the end of base camp, you can target this. 10-day strategy, by the end of 10-day strategy, you can target this. How can you cross 40 plus in this? This will happen as a result of 50R and 20R. Okay. You may not get this directly. So by the end of boot camp or base camp, you should be able to get here. By the end of 10-day strategy, this is exactly what has to happen. So do not studying anything, do not remembering anything, do not completing the syllabus. I'm not able to score 40. So don't get into the nonsensical things. Please be mature. That is my request for you. Time and again, get mature. Behave like a chartered accountant to become like a chartered accountant. Become a chartered accountant. That is something which I'm talking about. Don't be unrealistic. Come out of your emotional trauma. Come out of it. Done and dusted. Results are over. Okay, katam. You're just focusing on the next attempt result. You're closer to the next exam than the previous attempt, right? You're becoming closer to the next attempt than the previous attempt. So it is time to move on. Focus on the November 23 part. May 23 is done and dusted. Gone. It's gone case. Let's focus on November. Otherwise, you'll have to think of May 24, unfortunately. So this is what we are talking about. Are we clear about this case? So this probably took longer than what I wanted, but then I hope things are. If things are crystal clear, why just clear? If things are crystal clear, please type crystal clear. This is a core component of mentorship. All the live sessions, ask him anything. Everything is for you to implement this single sheet. As long as you implement this, you'll clear. Okay, now before I move on, let me give you clarity on something. Okay, so clear. See, now this is the core, guys. This is the heart of the program. This is the core of the mentorship. Now, when I say we want to help 10,000 plus students, we are not particular about how a student, we are not particular about the program. Please understand something. We have a series of programs. We're not particular about the program. We are particular about the core concept. This is the heart of the mentorship. This is the heart of the entire preparation process. Now, there are some people who would learn this from watching our videos, who would learn this from reading our mails, who would learn this from the case studies. We call them Ekalavya. We call them Ekalavya. There are some people who would learn this like an Ekalavya. It's already there. Now there are some people who want to learn it like an Arjuna. Let's say we call it pro one-to-one with highest level of access. That's it. Even Arjuna has to learn. It's not like Guru will sit with him 24/7. The point is, it's higher personal attention. Eklavya is people who are learning two different variations, right? Now the programs, if you ask us, why did we design these different programs? Now some people will clear by watching videos on YouTube. A lot of people text us like, oh, this happens and this is going to happen. We are happy because, for any student, if they clear CA, that is going to uplift the socio-economic status of the entire family, and we want to contribute that larger vision. So we don't mind. And there are some people who clear with the help of emails. There are some people who will clear with the help of workshops. There are some people who will clear with the help of case studies. These are the 4 pillars which are free. We offer this free, and most of you would have enjoyed it for X amount of time before you take. Or probably this is the reason why you are joined, right? So you should have went through one of this, either the emails or YouTube live streams or workshops or case studies, which we share of successful students. You would have went through this. So this is for this is where you can clear for free. Now, somebody wants to move from Ekalavya to Arjuna, or in that mode. Now there are some levels here. Now let's say the best level which we currently have is Pro. Now Pro is 1-to-1. Why 1-to-1? Now, even after explaining all of this, some students think I need that additional attention. Now this is being explained to a set of people. Now I want that personal attention. I know the value of my time. I know the difficulties which I'm facing. I know the opportunity cost of that attempt. I already wasted lakhs of rupees by failing. So by doing a small investment or by investing like 1 month salary, if I'm going to get, a lot of people upgrade to Pro, a lot of people take Pro. It is up to them. That is what it is, because it depends on what they want. It depends on their paying capacity. It depends on their affordability. It depends on how seriously they want to clear. This is about it. Now, the other one is most of you are a part of Super 36. Again, Super 36 is the heavy focus is on the mindset and routine part. The highest level of focus in mindset and routine part, followed by revision, because we assume once you fix this will happen. We are giving support to this, and once you fix this will happen, right? So a lot of Super 36 have solved these problems for a wide range of students with different backgrounds, and it will still continue solving it. It is already solving it. Now, there are some people who say, okay, this is helping me indirectly. This is helping me indirectly. I need direct attention on this. I need direct attention on this, where I want, this is indirect attention, I need direct attention. I need direct attention in both of these aspects. So this is the bottom core improvement program. So in apart from what happens in Super 36, say I would say if you read all the mails and implement everything, you can clear for free. If you watch only the YouTube videos, you can still clear. If you attend our workshop, you can still clear. If you learn from case studies, you can still clear. So I'm not saying only Pro will clear, only SIP will clear, only Super will clear. Anything will clear. It depends on your capability. It's not depending on us. It depends on your capability. Do you need, can you run for 10 kilometers? Are you someone who get tired after 1 kilometer? Or do you want to conserve energy for building your career instead of putting all your energy into the preparation, getting tired for the rest of your life? If you want to use a smooth ride now and use this energy to build a 10 lakh, 15 lakh job, it's up to you. It depends on your decision. So the difference here is the core improvement program. So the difference here is that it will give you additional attention on the syllabus completion part and the exam presentation part, where they'll also look at your exam mistake trackers, the experts, other chartered accountants will look into that. Now, what is SIP? Ideally, it's a 70-day program, as I said. SIP comes into the picture at 40 and 30 days, like 40 days here, 10-day strategy, 4 papers, and then effective revision for 30 days. So this is where the SIP works entirely, because these 70 days are extremely crucial. By the time you would have done a 5-day base camp, by the time you would have done a 1-week base camp and 5-day boot camp, so that 70 days will experience significant differences, because by that time your mindset is sorted, your revision mechanism is sorted, because SIP will help you to improve your syllabus completion, exam presentation. By the time you're expected to fix this. So this is exactly how it's working. But having said that, those who are joining, we're trying to facilitate, interim conversations also. But the real complete schedule and all of this will start from August 21st. With aggressive beginning from August 15th or something, but meanwhile also will facilitating it. So these are the levels at which we can support. There is no limit to which we can support. See, I'll tell you something. Anything in the world is possible. Anything, let's say somebody wants to go to Mumbai, as in my favorite example, Hyderabad to Mumbai. Can somebody go in 2 hours? Absolutely yes. Call someone, book a private jet, they'll drop you, they'll pick you here and drop you 2-3 hours, done, you'll go. Depends on your paying capacity, depends on your seriousness, intensity. Any problem in the world can be solved. People are transplanting hearts. Now you're talking about fixing their concentration issue. The only problem you have is you don't have the right quality of people paying attention to the problem. That is the exact problem you had. It's not like an unsolvable problem, right? It's one of the simplest problems on the planet to solve. If you talk about exams, because syllabus is fixed, exam date is fixed. Now, when you come into real life, everything is complicated, everything is crazy. You cannot create frameworks in your job and marriage, because the situations are far more dynamic. Here, you just have to complete the syllabus. What is there in there? Since you're not exposed to bigger and complicated problems, you're finding it difficult. So there is no question that somebody cannot solve your problem. There is someone who can solve your problem. Or let's say, if you find a faculty, that he can teach you one-to-one. Now, if you compensate the faculty for 100 students, he can teach you one-to-one, or he can even come and sit at your home and teach. So there is the solution part is not missing. The affordability of the solution part, or the seriousness of the solution part is missing. So in your mind, you decide. You decide what is the level at which you want to put in your effort, and what is the level at which you want to take support. And I'm sure there are a lot of faculties who give training on a one-to-one basis, even for the subjects also, even for exams also. Like even when you're writing your mock exam, somebody will give general comments, somebody will give detailed comments, somebody will even give you one-to-one comment for each exam, where they'll charge around 1,000 to 1,500 per exam. So it depends, right? So now you don't try to create imaginary solutions about what has to happen. You need to have a practical understanding of how solutions would come. When a YouTube when a YouTuber is making a video, he's not making for you. He'll get 1 lakh views. That is the reason why he's making it. It's not made for you. So when something is not made for you, it may or may not solve your problem. Don't write in the comment section, I have this, please call me, or please give me a number. They won't. Now, that is not practically possible, right? They operate for at a superficial information for a larger segment. That is their model. Their model is giving 10% of the solution for 100% of the audience. Our model is giving 100% of the solution to 10% of audience, or 1000% intention for 1% of the people who are here. So this is exactly how the model works. Now, any problem can be resolved. It's a question of your time, energy, attention, some amount of money, some amount of risk taking, some amount of taking a back step in your career, sacrifice with your family. It's a component of this. If you fix this 5 components, every problem is resolved. So don't get stuck. Look at what kind of solution you need. If somebody who is here, if it is solving, done. If it is not solving, move to one of this. If SIP solves it, if S36 solves it, or Flow solves it, or if somebody is here, they need better solution, move here. If somebody is here, or move here, whatever it is. You look at what exactly is the kind of support you need and solve it. The question is, you have enough time to clear the exam. And please, once again, I'm requesting you, please stop talking about I'm a working professional, I am a mother, whatever it is. ICA does not understand. ICA is not giving a reservation. There are some exams where there are some reservation for certain category of people. CA exams do not have any special reservation for working professionals. You want to earn money, you want to get your qualification. Probably you're far more aggressive and greedy than other students. Other students are spending their complete time into preparation. You're selling your time to get money. So don't make it sound like a sacrifice and excuse. It's a conscious choice which you're doing. So please stop talking about it to yourself. It's not that you're saying to others. Please stop talking about it to yourself. That's one of the most useless excuses if you continue it for X amount of time. Now, the reason why you're writing only one group is you're a working professional. That's it. End of story. Why are you writing only one group? I'm a working professional. That's it. They should not become an excuse for everything, right? Why are you not studying? Working professional. Why are you not paying attention? Working professional. No, this cannot happen. Now, why are you failing? I say a working professional. So this is what you have to fix it forever. You have to move from that. Try to complete the targets in the milestones. If it takes taking sick leave, paid leave, sabbatical, whatever it is, you have to clear the exam, you clear it. There are some working professionals which I showed case studies, they're able to comfortably manage. They're able to comfortably manage, yes, they're able to manage this. A lot of working professionals are building companies sidewards, their ability. Now, if your ability is allowing you to work and study, please do it. Who is stopping you? If it is not allowing, please take a break from one of this. Right now, I think exam has higher importance and urgency in your career. So dilute it, have a conversation with your manager, make some adjustments. I spoke about maid, I spoke about cook, I spoke about driver. All these adjustments will give you 2-3 hours of extra time and complete detachment from your mobile. If you're not in your office, switch off your mobile. You cannot have everything in your life, right? So this is how I would like to resolve it. I hope the additional things, the program part which you discussed about, these are the free resources, Eklavya resources. Let's call it Eklavya resources. These are the Arjuna resources. So these are the Arjuna resources which we discussed about. SIP, S36, and Pro. And one thing which we always say is, when somebody invested in this, when they want to move here, 100% is redeemable. You only pay the difference at any point of time, even after utilizing it for 75% of the time, whenever it is, because we always believe it in terms of you experiencing something. There is only one price. There should not be double taxation. You paid for this, no. 100% is redeemable. Whenever you want to upgrade, it's redeemable. Again, once again, remember, you realize you first exhaust your potential. Like you first exhaust your potential. Are you doing this? Are you doing your day end revision? Are you doing your midday revision? Are you doing your previous year recall? If you do everything, and if something is not enough, then think. Otherwise, focus on implementation. Huh? So this is exactly how the programs would work. So I hope the program part is also clear. If it is clear, please start clear. The program part is also clear in terms of understanding what they do. If it is clear, please start clear. Done. Cool. So let's look at some of the examples. I removed the name to respect your privacy. And when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to everyone who is having this problem. Guys, how many of you have this issue? Like, look at the problem here. I thought it is relevant for most of you. How many of you have this issue? You can be honest. Even if you're a full-time student, how many of you are having this issue? You can be honest, that's okay. Yes, number one, you're already working, okay? So when you're working, you're investing 50 to 60% of your time just to relax and watching dramas. Now, this is a drama. I'm saying you're doing a drama by thinking that you're preparing. So just relax, watch all Netflix series, watch half CA completely and remain a half CA. Who is stopping you? Right? That's it. Why are you bothering about it? Because this has got nothing to talk about preparation. You're saying you're already working and then you want to relax. Now, what are you expecting? What do you think I should advise about it? What do you think I should advise about it? You know what is happening. You're just being lazy, lethargic, you're not serious. You're just being greedy. You're just trying to use it like a lottery ticket. You're trying to use preparation like a lottery ticket. Let me pay 3,000 to the exam, or say pay something to the mentorship. Let's see if it is going to work out. This is not going to work. Imagine your subordinate. Let's say, imagine an article student mentioning the same message. I'm saying, imagine an article student typing this to you and asking your solution. How would you react? If you think I'm sounding a bit rude, if I'm sounding a bit harsh, that will pain you. Imagine your junior or your mentee or your student who is looking upon you, who is trying to learn from you. If they mention this, how painful it is. It's not a problem. You're talking about a privilege. It's not a problem. It's a privileged. It's an elitist problem. It's not a student problem. It's an elitist problem. Having said this, if you really want to fix this, keep your mobile switched off. Keep your mobile switched off. For me, it's working, guys. I'm switching off my mobile for 4 to 5 hours every single day. I already started doing this, so this is really working. So switch power off your mobile. That's it. No, you're not an emergency doctor. Nobody is going to die because you're not available. You're not an emergency doctor. So completely power off your mobile. Okay. So the solution, only one solution for this is mobile is powered off. At the moment you enter home, give it to someone. Okay? Give it to someone. Give it to your family member and ask them to give it next day only. Next day only. That's it. Okay. This is the first thing which you can do. And please don't come back to me with bullshit problems like how would I keep an alarm? Buy an alarm. 300 rupees, you'll buy an alarm. You'll get a plastic alarm and 300 rupees. So you don't need mobile to look at an alarm or look at the time. Okay. You understand this. If this part is clear, I'll move on to the next question. So this is linked to all the mindset related problems. Again, I appreciate your honesty. I don't want to mention the name. I appreciate your honesty, but I also want to be brutally honest. Like you are honest, I want both of us are talking about the same thing. So do this. Remove the mobile. That's it. This will solve the problem. You cannot fight with Facebook. You cannot. Even I cannot do it. My mentorship, my one last second blueprint cannot fight with Netflix. So I'm like, Namaskar. We cannot fight you. So that's the reason why we are keeping you away. Like if you look at Rishi, this. Sages, they cannot fight with all this mada, moha, all of this karma, all of that, right? They say we cannot fight with the worldly desires. Let me go and meditate in a place where we don't get attracted for money or lust or all of this. They stay away from this, right? That is exactly what I'm asking you to do. Don't fight. Just flight is the only option. Okay. Next. How to create an impactful routine with 2 kids and family support. This touched me. This reminded me of Akshari. So there is a difference between that question and this question. Now, you notice that both of them are talking about not having time. But in the previous case, it was office. Office is a conscious choice. Family, it's not like somebody is forced to marry, but family is a very different situation, right? Somebody can choose work or not to work, but family is a different situation. Entertainment a choice, kids are not a choice, right? Kids, it's a far more respectable problem. For me, it's a far more respectable problem. So for me, this is important, and this reminded me of actually. So this is what I want to tell you. Number one, your goal should be to clear. Okay. Clear the goal. Keep the timeline flexible. In your case, keep the timeline slightly flexible. You're a mother of 2 kids, or you could be a father also. Why am I gender specific? You decide to clear the exam, but don't have a rigid timeline like others. I'm not asking you to think of a 5-year plan, but it's okay. So what I want to do is you keep preparing. At a particular attempt, you will clear. That's what it is. It could be 1 or 2 attempts here and there. So don't have unrealistic stress on you. Your kids will already have a lot of stress, and you will have to deal with guilt and all of that, because sometimes the question of am I a good parent, am I ignoring my kids will bother you much. So I understand this as a parent. So don't have it. So have a proper timeline, like have a diluted timeline. Now when people ask me, why are you doing things in a very phased manner? Why are you not going all out in the market? Some of you might get this doubt. Why are you not growing fast? Now, I got married, I have a kid, startup, all of this at the same time. And even my parents are retired, they stay with me for most of the time. So when I have to manage all of this, my idea is to build a balanced life, not a distorted life in one segment. Now, currently, I'm focusing on balancing all the 4 wheels. Once I balance them, once it go to different levels, then I'll play hard. This is exactly how it is, right? So now I'm in the boot camp mode where everything, my personal life, my marriage life, my time with my kid, my startup, my time with my mentees, my time with my parents, my professional network, everything is in the boot camp mode where we are just minimalizing. That is the reason why Pro, we always have single digit students for Pro. At a particular time, we'll only have single digit, very, very minimal. We reject most of them. I think even in this batch also, there are 7 to 8 people who are waiting for an approval from us. We believe that you can clear on your, you can clear with the existing program. So that is the reason why you're not giving it until it is very much necessary. This is exactly what I'm following. This is exactly what I'm recommending. Manage family, manage kids, and make sure you're in the path. One thing which I'm consistently doing is I'm always in the path. So be in the path. So this will reduce the mental load in your mind. Done. Next, the routine part, as I said, FSS, full study session, at least have it for 2 to 3 hours, fix it. Now here, there should not be a question of kids. Bring kids as an excuse for 20 hours, but 3 hours, this is not an excuse. Outsource it to someone by taking the help of a maid or taking the help of your in-laws or husband or wife, whatever it is. So 2 to 3 hours, have a indestructible routine, and most importantly, dilute the scope. How do you dilute the scope? Focus first on completing those A priority and F list priority. So prepare for 70 marks first. Target 70 marks. Once it is done, move on to the other. I'm not saying it is enough. This is necessary but not sufficient. First, complete this. Okay. Limited time, limited syllabus, complete the cycle, and then move on to the other part. So only thing is you may not be able to write both groups. Sometimes there might be delay in it. That's okay. So this is exactly what I've recommended for Akshari. This is exactly what has done. This is now you see her. She's building everything full-fledgedly. Now, last time she was speaking, right? Even her father is a CA. Her son also want to be CA. Imagine for a woman how proud moment that would be. Looking at his son is inspired by a mother's story. He's understanding. When we created all of that, his son was very happy and he's talking about it in his school, like how proud it would be for a mother, right? So it took time. Even for actually, we did not force her to write both groups. She tried it. She cleared one group got left out, and she cleared the next attempt. So that's okay. So you can have a phase-wise implementation. Okay. So all those who are working, who genuinely have some issues, who genuinely are taking time, it's not about blind motivation. Please understand this golden rule. Life situation. Life situation is powerful than motivation. Okay, so this is something which you want. Somebody studied for 10 hours, somebody maybe completed this. No, don't worry about it. Your life situation is important. So focus on that. Okay. If this is clear, if the routine part, this part is clear, I think this is the question which some of you might have. If this is clear, please type clear and move on to the next one. Now syllabus completion. So this is a query which is pertinent to the source. Okay, I'll solve it once for all. The reason, see, normally I would have taken the question directly from you, but since most of you are asking the same question instead of wasting time, so we are doing it in this format so that it is very effective, time effective for you. This 100 minutes is very time effective for you. So this is about the source, right? So source. Now let's talk about source. The most original source is ICI material. Okay. In ICI material, in ICI, from ICI, the order of importance is index. The most important thing is index. The next is search answers. The next is MTP, RTP. Okay. As long as you're using this is the most important component of ICI. With the help of this, you can attempt up to 25 marks. 25% of syllabus can be handled with this, multiple attempts, not just one attempt. So if you do this, you can amendments also, of course. Why not? Amendments, case studies. Okay, let me add the scope. If I have to add this also, ready referencer. Okay, so this is something which I would recommend. This ICI kit carries up to 25 to 40 books. This is something which is non-negotiable, use it for everything. Okay, so this is something which should be done irrespective of your other material. Unless the faculty has already considered all of this in the same format in the same book, then you don't have to move from here and there. So, but these are the things. Index is compulsory, which you have to do it. Search to answers, MTP, RTP of 3 attempts, amendments, case study digest, and ready referencer. Okay, these are the set of things which you should focus on ICI. This is something which you should definitely do for all subjects, irrespective of where you're taking. So this is primary source or OG. We call it OG, right? This is what it is. Done. Next, when it comes to others, let's say now rest of the aspects. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about videos. Now, ICI Board of Studies has certain videos. ICI material, study mat, books, ICI study mat. Now, both of them are very useful, but if I had to choose between this and this, study mat would be far more efficient. And here, a substitute would be your ready referencer. Your ready referencer. ICI has the subject-wise capsules, ready referencer, right? If you're not willing to follow study mat entirely, use this. Now, when you ask some chapters of DT, IDT, if this is not happening, use this. This is something which I'll strongly recommend. If it fits into the picture, if you're comfortable with ICI, please do it. If you're comfortable with ICI, there is no other better book than ICI. There's no question of it. Please do it if you're comfortable with ICI. Okay. If you're not completely comfortable with ICI study material, use ready referencer. At least it will give you partial command and grip. Okay. Videos, board of studies, it's up to you. Now, this is only for saving your money. So, time saving, that's okay, because whatever any video will take good amount of time. If the intention is to save money, yes, this is fine. If the intention is to save time, again, there are faster ways which you're talking about. This is about it. Now, study material is not about money saving, it is efficient, and most importantly, you'll understand the questioning pattern in the far more clearly. Okay, so I always recommend following ICI material to the extent possible. Now, when would you refer? When would you refer? When would you use reference books of other authors? Number one, if they're simple. If they're simple and easy to use. If they're concise or precise. Number three, if you've already taken coaching from them. These are the 3 reasons why you should use. Not because something is free, not because something is cheap, not because somebody has said it. These are the only 3 reasons. It has to be simple, concise. Say there are some books which are simple but not concise. But simplicity is different, conciseness is different. So these are the 3 reasons why you should look at a reference. Now, how would you choose a reference? How would you choose a reference? Let's say if you're looking at 3 options: faculty X, faculty Y, faculty Z. Go and watch the video or go and read the lesson, video/lesson. Same lesson from all 3. Same lesson from all 3. It will take 1 day for you. But the decision which you take will be 100% right. Let's say you want to buy a book for DT. Don't spend 10 hours on asking 10 people. Look at one. Let's say look at capital gains. Listen from this faculty. Listen from this faculty. Listen from this faculty. You'll understand. You'll understand who is giving you better insight. It will take 6 to 7 hours. That's okay. At least the chapter will be completed. Best part is you'll get the book because you only have to take 6 to 7 decisions, right? It's worth spending 1 week. It's worth spending 1 week. So while you're doing the boot camp or base camp, there is one particular day where you have to complete a chapter, right? That day itself, you can spend 1 hour in each of the faculties and decide. So read the same lesson, same chapter from all three. And that is exactly how I decided for my civil services. This is exactly what I would recommend you to decide in terms of the thing. So if ICI is giving you better insights or BO is giving you better insights, go for it. So this is the only way to decide. It depends on you. It depends on you. Nobody can guide you. This is the only way to decide, even if there are raving feedback about it, even if there are negative reviews, either way, don't worry. You do it. You do it. If it is fitting for you, you do it accordingly. If this is clear, please type clear. I hope I was able to help I was able to fix the sources problem. You should not get a question again. Sources part is clear, right? Put some time. See, everywhere you get a problem because you don't want to put in time, you don't want to put in effort. You're expecting somebody to do the work for you. Nobody will do it for you because that won't give you clarity. Only when you put in. Most of the things which you're talking about can be solved in one hour or 1 day. Further, you're wasting years of time. Either 1 hour or 1 day. End of story. Now, even for the we are changing the entire model of this mentorship. We had to think about three sources. Now, even after doing this for 1 hour or going through the course for some time, we are not able to do it. So what I did is I bought all the three. I invested in all the three, spent X amount of time in the paid program. After spending X amount of time, I realized A is better than B and C. So B and C was helpful. The idea is even if there is one thing which is helpful, that's fine. That's it. You cannot correlate learning with money, right? That is not how you trade. So that is exactly why I'm very clear about this model, which we are going to implement from here on. So that's why I take a decision. So see, there are positive reviews and negative reviews for everyone, right? Now, what would you trust? But even without thinking about it, all of the faculties will have both positive and negative. What are you going to say about it? That is not a reliable thing for you to decide. The more reliable thing is this approach. Okay. I think this is also clear for you. Next. This is a very, very important question, which most of you might have. I appreciate the question since it is very detailed. So this is a very genuine question and genuine problem. So now, while I sit for day end revision and previous day revision, recalling does not happen. Fair enough. As one of the video on that, I have attempted speed reading test. Okay, I tried speed reading test, and I scored 164, which is on the lower side. It also comes to my mind that if I start making notes, it won't be able to write. So I'll give you a brutally honest answer here. Now the word per minute could be as high as 350 to 400 is a decent range. Now, when your word per minute is this, it's a reflection of your lot of factors. It is a reflection of the last 25 years of education. This is not happening because of the last 25 minutes or 25 days. So let's understand it is what it is. Let's accept it is what it is. Now, when somebody can read it this, somebody can do it this. What is the implication? Let's say driver 1 can drive at 164 kilometers. Driver 2 can drive at 300 kilometers. Now, what is the learning for driver 1? What should the driver do? If you look at a layman, in this case, somebody can drive at 164 kilometers, somebody can drive at 300 kilometers. What is the implication of this? What should the driver 1 do about this? What should he do? What should he do? If you have to suggest, if you have to answer this, if you have to give you a suggestion, what would you do? Yes, increases speed is a natural thing. What do you suggest him? Yes, obviously that has to be increased. It's not easy, right? Increasing the speed is not pressing the accelerator. It's a skill. Yes, that's a vague answer, right? What is the first thing which you suggest? Yes, that's good. Yes, you have to learn how to increase, right? Learn from driver to attention, lot of things, right? So there are many things which you're talking about. So the idea is don't race the driver 1. The first thing is you'll get in an accident. Let's say you're driving at X amount of speed, somebody is riding hard. You know that you're not going to drive at that speed. If you try to race with him, the first suggestion is don't race with driver 2. His capability is separate, it's separate. So don't try to race with him. You understand that there are some constraints. You build your own journey. You kind of take it slow. take it slow or don't compete aggressively. Like you need to understand that you build and then compete, not directly. Noticing the difference. Right now, you cannot compete directly. You improve your speed, you work on it, come back on the track, and then compete. Right. So this has to happen. So first thing is, again, you can look at diluted targets. Yes, keep your own pace. So look at your diluted target when the targets in the bootcamp are given for 300 words per minute. If it is happening at 50%, again, you can assume that you are a working professional with that level of speed, and you can slightly start doing things. And most importantly, expand the scope of the attempt. Like attempt for one group and probably be ready for one more attempt, because it is exactly what you have to do it systematically. This is number one. And number two, index mapping exercise, do it 3 times. Do it 3 times, then you can operate at almost 250. You are clear about this. For others, I'm recommending only 1 time. For this, so doses, right? Let us somebody has fever. Now, depending on the level of fever, the dose is required. For you, one thing which I can suggest is put in 3x of this. Now, until you fix it, until this increase, you'll study very less per day. When you study very less, there will be very less content for you to on the right on the PDR. So less studies will have less DER, will reflect on less PDR. So no, stop worrying here, stop worrying here, stop worrying. Don't worry about the same problem 3 times. There's only one problem which is reflected thrice. Please understand this. There's only one problem which is reflected thrice. So let's say on a Sunday, if somebody is not able to write the questions or answers properly, you did not complete the syllabus properly, or your mindset is not in the right place. One problem which gets reflected all across. Don't worry about the same problem every single day, every single time. Okay. So this is where it has to be fixed. So start focusing on increasing the clarity of the subject. Okay, this is one option. And number two, check if your learning works better through listening. Like learning can happen. This is important, guys. Let me figure it for you. So when you talk about learning, for people who have less attention, the attention is low. The best way to learn is to write. Then read, then watch / listen. Okay. So if you're not having attention, coaching is not a good idea for you, because you cannot pay attention, you cannot pick up anything. So in your case, if your reading is low, see if you can learn through listening. If you can learn through watching videos and directly making notes. So find an alternate, test 2-3 things, because if reading is not your strength, learning can happen in multiple ways. By listening, by writing, by reading, all these patterns. Okay. So find out the pattern or find out the strong area which will help you to learn faster. Okay. If this is clear, please start clear. Perfect. And this is the problem which I clearly gave a lot of emphasis in actually. So this is what I'm talking about. So reality strike. Now, the reason why you're using exam here is exam. I said there are 3 functions of exam. What are the 3 functions? I said there are 3 functions of exam. Can somebody type it down? What are the 3 functions? Okay, I want one of you to type. Yes, 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 right. Thank you. Good. You're paying attention. Syllabus, or recall or revision, or testing. Okay, these are the 3 functions which you're looking at it. Yes. Read, revise, recall, presentation. Yes, testing. Yeah. So in this case, you're using exam to complete the syllabus better. The idea is not test. You're worried that when you're testing yourself, your confidence goes down. But when you're using exams to complete your syllabus faster and better, This is not even applicable. The idea is not to test your confidence. The idea is not to test your knowledge. The idea is to improve your syllabus completion so that when you know what exactly is the type of questions ICAI is asking, what exactly the type of answers ICAI is expecting you to write, it will be easy for you to complete the syllabus. That's it. Okay. So don't and also it's not called confidence. When something is shattered, it's not confidence, right? If something is shattered, it's not confidence. That's it. Why do you calling it? You don't have. You're not confident. It's not like your confidence getting shattered. It's the other way. You're never confident. You're just having an illusion of confidence. Like somebody says, it's a bulletproof glass. It's a bulletproof glass. Bullet hits it, the glass broke. It's a bloody glass. It's not a bulletproof glass, right? Similarly, it's a pseudo layer of confidence. You're never confident. Now, confident people, a lot of people after writing exam mistake, I've seen it. I've scored only 15, but my confidence is improved. How many of you agree? How many of you experience this, guys? Where your confidence has improved after filling that exam mistake tracker? Whose confidence has improved after filling it, even if you have scored less? Because what happens is your clarity improves. When your clarity improves, your confidence automatically improves. So all those who have tried this exam mistake tracker, your clarity improves. That is exactly how the confidence improves. If you're saying that something is destroying my confidence, you're never confident in the first place. You're never confident. Now, let's say this is the same thing which I talk about self-esteem. If someone says that the other person is insulting me, oh, you're already insulting yourself. You're only getting reflected with that words. If you don't have that framework in your mind, it won't even touch your happy. That is exactly what it is. Absolutely, we get to know what we don't know. Fantastic line. Fantastic line. Right. So as I said, I hope the last 100 minutes have been valuable. We exactly spend 100 minutes. Now, this is a target for the new workshops. First 50 minutes in a particular format, second 50 minutes in terms of solving your queries which you might have. So in terms of the experience of the workshop, please go to the app. Please go to the app, open the app. Now I want you to, I'll type a template, you respond to that. Experience of today's session in one word / one sentence. Two, three key. Okay, 3 key learnings we'll do it later. So this is, I'm making it simpler for you. Just type this experience of today's workshop in one sentence. I want all of you to type it. Experience. I'm not talking about takeaways here. Takeaways we'll do it separately. How did you experience? Like when you go through this 100 minutes, I want to know about it because from now onwards, what I'm focusing is every session which we do live, there should be a significant mental shift and mental transformation. So we are targeting a very aggressive thing without for you to even go and watching the videos or waiting for some time within the session is something which you have to experience the transition. You should something to change in the session itself. So that is exactly why we are going, deep. So I want all of you to mention that experience. Next, we'll do one interesting exercise, which will give you a lot of emphasis for all of you. So once you're done in the group, we'll next focus on this. So this is the difference, a lot of people ask me, why do you share a lot of free resources? Eklavya is Eklavya, Arjuna is Arjuna, because the key core elements, the most valuable things will happen only within the community, within the inner circle, right? So that is the best part of staying closer within the community. External people will have a lot of information, but insights are shared only within the program. That is the difference between different levels. The level of insight, the details of insights between SIP, Statistics Pro, insight, we call it insight. What is insight? Insight is the smallest unit of truth. The smallest unit of truth. So you understand truth in this bit. Like that way, you'll be able to go and implement an insight. Information you cannot implement. Okay. So for the benefit of students who are here, let's do an exercise which will help you to carry forward this